This year, the Far North Queensland Hospital Foundation celebrates its 25th anniversary. It's a milestone that marks a significant moment in history for the region and those who founded the organisation and the people who continue to build it. Chair of the foundation since its inception, Dr. Ken Chapman reflects on how it all began.
There was a redevelopment of the hospital, and the then chair of the Health Council said, we've got to get serious about this. Cairns is just a bit sort of second rate in terms of health services compared to Townsville in particular. Why don't we get a foundation, a hospital foundation like they have in Brisbane, and Toowoomba had one, and do it properly? So that's where the idea came from. The government of the day bought into it, and he then tapped me. This was Ted Elliott, who was big in supporting charities all around the town, but he tapped me on the shoulder and said, Ken, you're up for it. And he's not a man you could say no to. So that was 26 years ago, in fact, that I agreed to do it, and it was established under an Act of Parliament in April of 97. And then really we started on the 1st of July when the then volunteer service from the hospital, which was run by the hospital with a hospital staff member, was handed across to us. And the kiosk, which was run by the Fundraisers Association, was handed across, and their two staff members came in. So we really started on the 1st of July 1997 with the kiosk, with the volunteer service, and with a deal to take over running the new car park when they built it. So that's where we came from. Of course, we started from nothing, and then we had to fit out the new cafe, the Seabreeze Cafe, and we also put TVs in every bed in the hospital. So the Fundraisers Association gave us $140,000 to kick off, but we spent $250,000 on fit out and $250,000 on the TVs. So we're actually in debt when we started. And it was tough, starting from scratch. There was no sort of fundraising of any size, but we built it up over years and years, and it's turned out to be a huge success.
The 25-year milestone brings with it a great sense of pride and achievement for all involved.
We went after things that mattered. We went after, equipment that we just didn't have and should have had, and we didn't just go after the ordinary stuff. We went after the best equipment. So right throughout this hospital and all the hospitals in the region now, we've got equipment you often don't see outside of Brisbane or Sydney. Sometimes we've got the best setup in the state, and we did that because local people got behind it. But then, things like the paediatric playgrounds, that makes such a massive difference to the sick kids and their families in the paediatric ward. That was a huge campaign over years, but you can see the results, And then over the years we got smarter again, and we realised that we can actually use our fundraising to exert leverage over the government to cause them to fund, improve services. So the cardiac cath lab was a big example. We raised a lot of money for that with the cardiac challenge and direct fundraising, but we talked the government into providing matching funds for the capital. So we got a $3.5 million development that we only paid half of, but more importantly, they then put in $3.5 million a year to fund the ongoing costs. And now we have the best cardiac unit, tertiary unit, outside of Brisbane.
There have been many people who have worked within the Far North Queensland Hospital Foundation over the years, and there are many and varied personal stories behind why each and every one of them have contributed so greatly to the cause. One member of the operations team has played a significant role in the growth as the Foundation's fundraising manager of 18 years. Glenys's personal story she rarely speaks of, but it is a key reason why she took on the role in the first place. In 1999, Glenys tragically lost her eldest daughter Renee to leukaemia at the age of 11. Her journey is what inspired her mother to be part of the Hospital Foundation and make a difference.
Given the opportunity, Brad Bevan made a donation to the Leukaemia Foundation, gave us a cheque for $1,000, and I gave that to the then president, which was Nev Bates. And Nev looked at me and he said, Glenys, why don't you put your daughter in the Leukaemia Quest, which is my other daughter, Carly, my youngest daughter. And I said, I'll ask her. And Carly said, what's a quest? So we told her it was fundraising for leukemia, and she loved it. And we went from there. She raised $115,000 in 6 months. She won a car. We didn't really think she needed a car at 9 years of age, so we donated that car back to raise money for the first ever playground of the hospital. So that was about $36,000 we raised for a playground up on the level 2 of the hospital. It was just a little playground, but it was something the kids never had before. And that gave me the incentive to keep going. I love fundraising, I did well at it.
Over 25 years, the Hospital Foundation has raised $25 million to uplift health services in far northern hospitals, from the Torres Strait in the north to Tully in the south.
I love my job. It's one of the best jobs in the world. You can't go past the excitement and the changes that we've done. 25 million in 25 years is a pretty good achievement.
But the work is far from over. The team are committed to giving the region the same level of health service those in southern states are afforded, and working directly with the Cairns and Hinterland Hospital and Health Service Board to make sure they are working in unison.
We're not about funding the normal stuff. We're about the cream on the cake. We're about the exceptional things that you wouldn't normally get in a hospital in a town this size. That's what we're here for, and that's what we do. We don't just want ordinary, we want the best. And frankly, I think the community deserves the best.
The future is looking bright for the Foundation, with many exciting projects afoot as the expansion of Far North Queensland Health Services as a whole are underway. Transforming the Cairns Hospital into a university hospital is just one of the big goals on the list to be achieved.
To be a part of something that has a higher purpose like that is really exciting, and the Foundation's in a great position. So there's a really reputable board in place, there's a capable team, we've got really dedicated volunteers. So for us it's about taking it to that next level in the next 25 years.
The incredible effort by all involved to date is certainly not lost on the people who've seen how far the charity has come.
This is a special place, and people in this town, in this region, get behind good causes, and we've seen that. We should as a community be very proud of what's been achieved, and it is the community that's done it. So I'm sure we're going to keep it up, and I'm sure we're going to get there, but it's thanks to the people of this town and this community.